Hi, I'm Anne from Game Like a Mother. Today I'm going to show you how to play High Society. It's ages 14 and up, 3 to 5 players, and it takes 20 minutes. Let me show you how to play. The goal of the game is to end with the most points that you acquire through bidding on these luxury cards without being the player who has the least amount of money left. Then you lose regardless of how many points you have acquired. For game setup, this is a 4-player game. Each person gets their own deck of money cards that go from 1 to 25. Each deck is identical. We're playing a 4-player game. You could play a 5-player game. It just is another deck is set out. And then you have all of your luxury cards as well as prestige cards and disgrace cards. Somewhat confusingly for your first round, one of the disgrace cards is the darker colored card. And that matters because you shuffle it all in here together and reveal them one by one, bid on them, and then the game ends as soon as the fourth of the dark cards, like the teal, the blue cards, is revealed. At that point, you stop bidding, tally up points, and see who has won the game. So now I've shuffled the status deck a little more thoroughly, and it's time to begin gameplay. We'll say this player dealt the cards, so they get to flip the top card of the status deck and either pass or start bidding. Nobody gets to see the cards that you have left in your hand. It's not a secret at the beginning. Everybody has the same cards, but it matters later on in the game. We'll say they're just going to start with a 6. They leave it out in front of them, put their other cards face down, and now the next player goes clockwise, has the choice of either bidding or passing. They're going to just pass. This player has to beat their bid if they want to stay in. So they can put down a 6 and a 1 to go higher than if they want. And then it's this player's turn and so on until somebody will say this player bids 8. And then this player, if they want to increase their bid, they can't. If they want to go to 10, they can't take the 6 back and put the 10 out, which becomes important later on. So if they put a 6 and a 4 out here and they are bidding 10 on this card, which is worth 5 points because it has a 5 on it, if then everybody else passes, if you've already passed, you can't start bidding later. So they're out once they've passed. This player passes and this player passes. So they get to keep their money cards. They don't have to spend them. This player, though, these cards have been used to purchase this card. And so they get to take the card and collect it, but these are placed off to the side and are no longer in use for the game. They cannot trade that out for 10. And then whoever wins the card gets to flip over the next card and bidding starts again in the same way for this. So this is the best one for the game. So maybe they just start pretty big and they put a 20 out there and then it goes around and whoever bids the most gets to collect the card. Let me show you how bidding works on prestige cards. It is the same as for any of the luxury cards. This person won a couple prestige luxury cards in a row, so they would have won the most recent one. I'll flip this over so they would get to start bidding. All of the prestige cards, the 3 of them, multiply your end score by 2 of all of your cards. So it is a very big deal, and you might be willing to bid quite a bit on it. So it's the same thing as the other, how bidding works for the other ones. One thing is you do have to do the math for everybody. It can get a little tricky especially if you're putting a lot of smaller cards out at once. So you have to announce whatever your bid is. You say 20, and then this person would say 31, and go on from there. So that is part of it. And again, you can choose to pass. This person's going to go ahead and pass. We'll say this person passes, and it's between these two, and they just went ahead and won it, so they get to keep their cards back. These cards are gone. They are not going to be back for the rest of the game, and this player would have won this card. It doesn't matter that they don't have any luxury cards yet. It's for game end that they have this. Now, the disgrace cards, the bidding works slightly differently. For these, you are bidding not to take it, and the first person to pass takes it. So this person, they do not want to be passé, and it's worth -5 points, whatever your final score is. And so they would bid in order to not take this. So they might just start out with a pretty small bid and hope that someone else will take it. So they're bidding not to take it. This person is bidding just slightly more than that, and they say 3. You are supposed to announce your bids each time. And so you keep on going. This person has lost their 4 and their 6, so they could do a 3 and a 1, or they might go ahead and just put their 8 out, because you have to be very careful with which cards you are using. And so they're bidding 8. And now this player, if they, we'll say they go ahead and bid 10, and now if this player says, you know what, I don't want to beat 10, I already am getting ×2 for whatever my final score is, I can handle losing 5 points. So what happens then is, if they say, fine, I pass, they get to take their money back that they bid. They take the card, and everyone else's bids are discarded. So this person only had to pay 3 to avoid that disgrace card. And then all of these cards are put off to the side. They've collected the card, and then they get to go first again. I put the other disgrace cards after this. You can see there's also faux pas. If you collect the faux pas card, you either have to discard one of your cards. So it's nice if this person collected it, clearly they would get rid of the 4 instead of the 10. But if you are the one who ends up taking this card, you pass, and this green takes the card. So they would take it, and then if they got a regular luxury card, if this was the next one up and they won it, as soon as they won it, they would have to discard it because it's the next one, and they would have filled the obligation of the faux pas card. And then the only other disgrace card, Scandale is the really big one. And while the prestige cards multiply your final score by 2, these have it. So you have to be very careful about getting this one. This is what the end of a game might look like. As you can see, everyone has quite a few cards. There's only 3 cards left. This player is the one who most recently got a card. They flip over the luxury card that's only worth 1. And at this point of the game, sometimes people will just choose to pass. And so this person passes. If this person passes, and this person, if it goes all the way around, this person just gets to get the card. They don't have to spend anything for it. And we'll say that just happened this time. Sometimes it can happen towards the end of the game. So there they go. Then we flip over the next card, and we have 4 green cards out here. And so as soon as you see it, game over. There is no bidding on this card. And you put these off to the side. Now the first thing you do is everyone compares how much money they have left, and the person with the least money is out, which in this case is this player. They only had 16 left, and so we don't care how many points they got. They are poor. They are out. Now these 3 players compare their scores, and this person had 14 divided by 2 is 7. This player I had 6 plus 1. I put this off to the side to show that the next card that they got for their after their faux pas was the 2. That's what they discarded. So they ended up with 7. So these 2 are tied. This player has a bit more going on. The order that you do the cards is they have 6 plus 3 is 9. First, you subtract 5 points before you start multiplying things by 2. So 9 minus 5 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 8 times 2 is 16. If they had gotten the other times 2, you end up multiplying your final score times 8 if you're doing that. So the first one, if you have just one of these, it's your total score times 2. If you have 2, it's your total score times 4. If you had gotten 3, it would be times 8. So they ended with 16 points, and that is the most. So they would be the winner this time. In the case of a tie, the player with the most money left wins, and if there is still a tie, the player with the single most valuable luxury card would be the winner. So that's how to play High Society. The artwork is exceptional, and the gameplay is so simple, but quite a bit of strategy is required to bid yourself to the top of the heap. So check it out. Thanks, and see you next time from Game Like a Mother.